crazy mother.
Black men and suicide. When being strong ain't strong enough. Sometimes the strongest thing a black man can say is, bruh, I need some help. This episode is not about portraying black men as weak as so many in our community routinely do on the internet. It's about recognizing that sometimes black men have been taught to be strong for everybody except themselves. What it do, what it do, what it do. Soul visionaries and potential soul visionaries out there. I am your grateful soul brother Sherrod Corn, and you are now rocking with the SoulVizion Powercast. You know, that place where we keep it unfiltered and raw. We talk about anything from porn to politics. We'll even talk about the things you might have heard or even saw. Today, we're focusing on the brother who's tired. Tired of struggling to make everyone happy. Tired of pretending to be okay when he is not. Tired of everybody's, tired of being everybody's rock when he needs a shoulder to lean on. Tired of worrying about money because everyone needs or wants more than what he has. Tired of the relationship problems that continuously seem to be a part of his life, no matter what he does to fix it. Tired of feeling like he's disappointing everybody because he has been told he isn't good enough. He needs to change this and change this or that about himself. He's tired of fighting battles nobody knows he's fighting because he always seems to be fighting battles for everyone else. And the scary part about this is he might look perfectly fine doing all of these things. No stressful expressions. He doesn't complain. He just goes to work every day, cracks jokes with the fellas, kicks it. He might post something funny on social media. He active in his children's lives. He might tell everybody, hey, I'm good. But inside, that brother might be fighting for his life. Today, we're talking about black men and suicide. And more importantly, we're talking about some brothers that suffer in silence until the silence becomes dangerous. Let's kick it. From the time brothers are born, it seems like, we hear some version of you got to toughen up, stop crying, handle your business, be a man. And there's nothing wrong with teaching a young man resilience. We need for our young men to be resilient, but oftentimes those demands don't come with instructions, they don't come with demonstrations or anything. But let's be clear. There's a difference between teaching a boy how to manage his emotions and teaching him that he shouldn't have emotions. Manage emotions and you shouldn't have emotions. Those are two completely different things. Because eventually that little boy that never received the proper guidance growing up becomes a grown man navigating life still without the proper guidance. So he's just making it up on the fly or as he feels. And now he's hurting. He doesn't have the vocabulary to explain why he's hurt, so he lies to himself and everyone else around him by saying, yo, I'm straight. No, I'm straight. Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. When he's depressed, he says what? I'm straight. When his marriage and relationship is falling apart, he says, I'm good. I'm straight. Ain't no thing. When he's scared he's about to lose his job, what he say? I'm straight. When he's feeling lonely, what he say? I'm straight. His whole world could be falling apart, and all he's going to ever say is, I'm straight. Bruh. Brothers, I've done it. I know I've done it. I've watched my other brothers do it. I know what it looks like. So at some point, we got to stop telling everybody we're straight when we're not. Too many men attach their manhood to their wallet. Too many of us connect our value to our usefulness to other people. Can I provide everything for my woman, wife, or children? Can I get them everything they need? Can I be the protector the world says I have to be in order to be considered a good man? Can I solve all the problems anybody has around me as well as my own? Can I pay all the bills by myself? Am I ambitious? Am I ambitious enough? Do it look like I'm remaining stagnant in our life, or does it seem like I'm steady climbing the ladder towards more wealth? You know what I'm saying? When a Man starts feeling like he's lacking in any of those departments. Sometimes he just isn't thinking I'm struggling. He starts thinking I'm worthless. And that's a very dangerous way of thinking, because we brothers have to realize that their circumstances is not their value. That's not the same thing. Your circumstances and your value are not the same thing. So despite what anybody tells you, losing a job, going through a divorce, getting rejected, having financial problems, needing somebody's help, that doesn't mean you've lost your value, bruh. It doesn't. You are more than what you provide. One of the hardest things about emotional pain is you can't see it. Not everybody wears it on their face. I mean, you know what a broken leg looks like because you can see the cast, right? When someone scratches themselves up, you might see a scar or whatever. You might see a Band-Aid. All those surface injuries you may be able to see. But can you really recognize someone's emotional pain? You know, remember Solange's song, Cranes in the Sky? She says you can't drink it away, sex it away, shop it away, work it away. You know, sometimes those empty feelings we have are temporarily masked by filling up our life with things, trinkets, you know, or by going here and hanging out with friends here and going on a cruise, and, you know, we can fill up our life with those things. But those things eventually get old or come to an end. That emotional pain comes right back, and sometimes it's worse than before. Sometimes it's worse than before. You may not always see the emotional baggage a man is carrying, and many times he will not even let you know that he's carrying those bags. So let's stop assuming that somebody is okay simply because they look okay. This connects directly to emotional intelligence, EQ. You know, sometimes a brother looks angry, but underneath that anger is fear. Fear of failing to provide for himself or his family, or fear of losing control over the events in his life. Shame because he believes he's failed, you know, to meet society's standards or whatnot. Grief. Death of a loved one, friend, loss of a job or his home, or ending of a long-term relationship. Rejection, being turned down for that job or promotion that he thought he was going to get. He counted on that, you know, or when family turned their back on you. Embarrassment, making a public mistake in front of your peers or failing at a task you thought you could do really well. Loneliness, a lack of deep emotional support in hard times, living alone with very close friends, with very few close friends, or feeling misunderstood by the people around them. Hopelessness, long-term money or health problems with no clear fix, feeling stuck in a bad job or lifestyle, believing that things would ever get better. I mean, I know a lot of us may wake up on a regular basis going to a job that we absolutely hate. You know, but I remember, you know, we have to, I was often told that sometimes we have to do what we got to do in order to do what we want to do. So that job, you hate it, but it paid the bills. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we do it, and we try to smile while we do it. We try to whistle while we work, but we hate that job, you know, and that's that hopelessness sometimes we have, because it's like, damn, I watch a lot of people with degrees, you know, and hell, they might be working in the job I'm working. They got degrees, and they're faring no better than I am. So we got to realize that anger is sometimes the emotion we express because it masquerades as strength, while crying might make us feel too vulnerable or weak. Saying I'm scared, I'm lonely might feel vulnerable, but saying I don't care feels powerful. I don't care, you know. Sometimes this might actually be your true feeling, but other times, I don't care really means, somebody please notice I'm hurting. I don't want to come to you and tell you, somebody ask me. You know, we've got to learn how to hear what's underneath someone's anger. We have to become more empathetic. Brother, we have this one bad. As a collective, we've got this bad, and it could be very dangerous. When one of us is struggling, we tend to disappear. You know, when we're struggling, we disappear. We stop calling folks. We stop hanging around. We stop going to the gym. We stop visiting family. We stop doing the things that we normally enjoy doing. But as brothers, we don't reach out enough to see how one another is doing. If you can recognize that he's going through some tough times, then maybe you need to check on him. Not just text him, hey, bro, you good? You good? No, 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 no. You already know what he's going to say. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm good. Call him. And if he ain't picking up, stop by. Stop by and check on him. You know? And unfortunately, I remember my brother, you know, finding him, you know, my younger brother finding my older brother, you know, no longer with us. We haven't heard from him a couple days. And, you know, it was normal. You know, he be doing his thing. You know, he's working, going to school, just taking care of business. So you might not see him for a couple days, but this one felt weird. And my brother went over there, looked through his window, and so sure enough, he had been, you know, he was no longer with us. And that's one of the worst moments of my life. So, brother, you know, we got to learn how to check on each other, man. You know, and when we stop by, you know, ask that brother, you know, bruh, how are you? For real. You know, don't give me that BS. Let me know. You know, let him talk. If he wants to talk, let him talk. If he doesn't want to, make sure you keep an eye on him. If he does open up, though, listen. See if he wants somebody just to open up to, or to somebody that will listen and then give him some good advice. You know, is he asking for advice, or is he just asking for an ear? You know, don't clown him, you know, because sometimes we tend to make light of people's situation. You know, don't tell them, hey, man, you know, somebody always got it worse than you. It's common sense. We all know that, man. But right now, I'm hurting. I'm in pain. You know, don't tell him to man up. You know, that's the worst thing you can tell somebody. Man up, be tough. Well, he is manning up. He's talking to somebody. He's trying to get some help. You know, don't tell him, don't turn his, man, please. Women, y'all got it bad when brothers open up, but y'all will turn his vulnerability into a joke later, or you use against them later. If somebody comes to you, I don't care if you get mad at them, I don't care if y'all ever speak again in life. If somebody comes to you and they're vulnerable to you, and they tell you and they pour out to you, please don't ever use that against them. Don't. If y'all friendship break up, hey, you know, if y'all relationship is over with, just walk away. But do not use someone's vulnerabilities against them, because that conversation might mean more than you realize to him. That might be a life or death conversation right there. So please don't take it lightly. Let's do more than talk about brotherhood. Let's be brothers. The brotherhood means more than just watching football, playing dominoes, drinking, hanging out, and talking about women. The brotherhood should mean that, hey, when he needs you, you're there. You can tell him the truth, even if it hurts. You know, the brotherhood means being able to say, I love you, bruh. You know, take care of yourself. Be safe, man. You got his back. He knows you has his back. He has your back. The brotherhood should mean so much more than just barbecues, brews, and broads. It should, man. It should be a coming together of, you know, holding each man holding each other accountable. We should come together, seeing, you know, hey, bro, you good? You need something? That's what we should be doing on a weekly basis. If not a daily basis, on a weekly basis, monthly, we should be checking in on each other. You know, the brotherhood means sitting down with each other when your world is falling apart. You know, your brother gonna come and sit by you and kick it with you. He's gonna talk to you. You know, he's gonna help you. Hey, if you need professional help, he's gonna say, yo, you know what, man? Hey, this is bigger than me. I can't really help you with this. You know, you might need to go ahead and get some professional help. And if you need, bro, I'll go with you. You know, I'll ride with you. I'll sit there with you. You know, taking him seriously when that brother says, I ain't got no more left in me, man. I don't want to be here no more. We have to stop thinking that we have to tough it out. Sometimes we need to talk it out. We have to bury the narrative that getting help somehow makes a man weak. If your transmission goes out in your ride and you're not a mechanic, what do? You go get a mechanic. If the furnace stops working and you're not someone that works on furnaces, what do? You go get an HVAC tech. If your roof starts leaking and you're not someone that fixes roofs, what do? You go get a professional roofer. But somehow we've got this thing that if your mind, if you emotionally and mentally start breaking down, you got to fix it by yourself. You got to do it alone. You got to go it alone, because that's showing strength. Come on, bruh. Sometimes you need the homies, your family, your spiritual community, a therapist, even crisis support. Even crisis support. Sometimes it gets that deep. Different problems requires different tools. And getting help isn't surrendering your masculinity, bruh. It isn't. Getting help means you're fighting for your life. And you're fighting to have have good quality of life. Bruh, we need to start admitting when we need help. We need to admit that ASAP. If you need help, don't let it linger. Admit that you need help. If you're not straight, let someone know you're struggling, you're overwhelmed, you're depressed, or whatever it is. Don't keep everything bottled up inside because you feel like you're supposed to handle everything on your own. Sometimes just letting someone know what you're going through can take some of that weight off of you. Letting someone know that you can't do it alone is not a sign of weakness. It takes a lot to move your pride aside and let someone come in and help. As men, sometimes our pride can get in the way of us getting the help we actually need. We don't want people to think that we're weak or that we can't handle our business, so we keep everything bottled up and we try to push through it. But there are some things you don't have to push through alone. There's some things you shouldn't try to push through alone. I've been there. I've been there. And it's a cold, dark place, especially when you feel like those you help the most are not there for you. That can make the situation even worse, because now you're dealing with what you're going through. Not only are you dealing with what you're going through, you're also dealing with the feeling that nobody cares about what you're going through. That hurts. That hurts. But sometimes maybe that's just a feeling and it's not a fact. That's just what you're feeling. It's not factual. And when you get into that kind of space, you can start isolating yourself, because I did it. I started isolating myself. Door closed, come home, boom, shut everything down, by myself, dark house, don't want to talk to nobody. You stop talking, you start reaching out, you start suppressing your feelings more and more and more and more, to the point that people around you don't even know how bad things have gotten, because you just gotten so used to telling everybody that you're straight. And that's what I was doing. Hey, Rod, what's up? What's up, bro? Keep a smile on my face and everything. Hey, even when things were at their worst, man. Yo, what's up, man? You put on that mask. That smile. And you just go, yo, man, yo, what's up? You the dap, the pound, and the hug. But deep down, man, you're hurting bad. You want somebody to help, but you don't know who you can trust. Because like in this day and time, you go out to try to help somebody, man, folks will put your business on the internet, But I'm here to tell you that if you find someone, you got to find someone. If you find somebody, and I'm quite sure everybody has someone around them, there is no shame in asking for help. We have all been in that place before. Sometimes you need somebody to listen. Sometimes you need somebody to help you work through it, and sometimes you may need professional help. Whatever it is, the important thing is that you don't sit there and try to carry everything by yourself, especially when you don't have to. Especially when you don't have to. And brothers, we gotta put our pride aside. We gotta put our pride aside, because if you need help, say you need help. It ain't no biggie. Everybody in their life has needed help. If you're struggling, say you're struggling. Give folks the opportunity to come and be there for you, instead of you just assuming that nobody's going to help. Give folks the opportunity to help you, instead of assuming nobody cares. Trust me, bruh, You got somebody that care for you. You got somebody that care. I want to directly speak to any brother who's struggling right now. Bruh, whatever you're going through, it's real. It's real. We're not gonna play with you like that. I'm not gonna disrespect your situation by telling you, hey, just manifest what you want and just be positive. Think positive thoughts. Put your hands together, fold your legs and hum and no, I'm not gonna tell you that. Sometimes life does hurt. Sometimes you go through some painful stuff in life. Sometimes you actually get tired. Sometimes you don't know how you're going to fix everything or anything. Sometimes you don't have a clue on what's next. But you don't have to solve your entire life overnight. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to figure out next year, tonight. It may or may not even be a quick fix to it. You don't have to fix every relationship right away. You don't have to solve every financial problem right away. Right now, your job is to focus on making sure you have a clear mind to stay in the fight. Talk to somebody, reach out, let somebody know what's happening. And if you're thinking about suicide, because I thought about it, and I went about it in a different way. I just went out acting wild. I did dumb stuff, right? That could have harmed myself. If you're thinking about suicide or hurting yourself, don't sit alone trying to, don't try to think about it by yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. Seriously, don't do that. Get somebody involved. Because I'm telling you, there's somebody around you, man, that's always there. Just whenever you need him, her, them, they're always there. Go talk to them. Let them in. Get somebody involved. Because the voice telling you that everybody would be better off without you doesn't get to make that decision for everybody who loves you. They don't. That voice in your head, no, don't let the voice in your head drive the car. Don't let it. Reach out, give folks a chance to help you. Trust me, it works. It works. Find somebody that you really trust. And if you don't trust anybody, bro, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes talking to a stranger even helps. To everybody that's out there listening, check on your brothers, especially the ones that seem to never need any help. The funny one, the quiet one, the brother that's going through a divorce, the brother who just lost his job, the brother that's struggling financially, the brother grieving somebody, the brother who stopped coming around suddenly. Even if they say they good. Check on them. Don't wait until a funeral to start talking about how much you love that brother. That was my dog, man. I love that guy, man. Woo, 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 woo. Tell him why he's still here. Be man enough to tell your brother you love him while he's still here. I dare you. Tell him why he's here. Give your brother his flowers while he's here. Soul visionaries. Black men deserve more than just survival. We deserve peace, healing, friendship, support, places where we don't always have to be strong. Sometimes strength is not about carrying everything yourself. Sometimes strength is realizing the weight is too much to bear alone, and then you ask, brother, can you help me carry this? Hey, check on your people. Check on your people, man. Check on your brothers. Check on your sons. Check on your fathers. And while you're doing all that checking out there, check on yourself. Check on yourself. Because sometimes the brother who needs somebody to ask, are you really okay, is you. I know I told you to go out there and check on your homie, make sure he all right, but bruh, you can't help nobody if you ain't all right. You see what I'm saying? You got to be able to, help yourself. Sometimes we gotta do mental, spiritual, emotional maintenance. Not just lifting these weights to make our physical appearance look good, man. Sometimes we gotta work out the mental, the spiritual, and the emotional side of us as well. We gotta make sure that they're in good shape. All right. Hey, man, remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. And if you really need to kick it, man, leave a comment at the SoulVision Powercast 23 at gmail.com. I'm gonna start checking that thing daily. So if you got a comment, want to talk, or whatever, man, you got an issue, hey, man, if I might be able to help you out with something, hey, the SoulVision Powercast at the SoulVision Powercast 23 at gmail.com. And I'm gonna start leaving it in the description. And just leave a comment. If you don't want to leave a public comment, leave a comment in the email, and I'll get back to you. So until next time, Soul Visionaries, keep growing, keep learning yourself, keep checking on each other, and keep elevating. It's 2026, and we are still in the mix. Peace.